Mexico's rich culture, a real world heritage. Here we have Ms. Maria Enriquez.
Thank you. Sorry. Good morning. We are going to begin with our presentation of today's Osher Lecture Series. For those who don't know me, my name is Maria Enriquez, and today I have partnered with Gema Chaqueco to introduce Mexico's rich culture and real world heritage. Before I begin, I would like to thank Mrs. Nicole Pecada for this great opportunity to share these fun lectures about our culture. In our lecture, we have a variety of subtopics. First, we are going to discuss the difference between Hispanic American and Latin American. The second topic is the tragic life of Frida Kahlo, and the third, El Día de los Muertos, which is translated to the Day of the Dead. Let's begin, Gema. I have a question for you. How many times have you completed an application for school, jobs, or very commonly when you take a relative to the hospital and you see the word ethnicity?
That is a great question, Maria. And the answer is yes. In my personal experience, I had to help out my father fill out his hospital paperwork, and that required to select his ethnicity. Now, I noticed that there were several options, such as African American, Indian, Japanese American, even Asian. However, I see that there's a confusion going on between seeing the difference of Hispanic and Latino.
Oh, yes, American refers to all the countries of America, in which one is official language is Spanish. That territory is composed of 20 countries. From Mexico to Argentina refer to the Americas, and plus Cuba, Dominican Republic, and Puerto Rico and the Caribbean.
Yes, thank you for clarifying, Maria. Now let's think about the Hispanic American population. Here in the U.S. is a total of 50 million inhabitants that speak Spanish, and close to 500 million Spanish speakers in the world.
So, I believe by now we have an understanding that Latin American refers to the colonized country of America. Those countries were colonized by Latin nations such as Spain, Portugal, and France. For example, Brazil was colonized by Portugal and Haiti was colonized by France. For this reason, our culture is rich in art, literature, music, food, and origins, because of that influences of the other countries.
Very good point, Maria. In fact, Mexico has about 31 sites of pre-Hispanic history, such as cities of Palenque, Teotihuacan, Uxmal, and El Tajín. With this, our ancestors left us with art, literature, dance, and music, food, and other traditions. Having that stated, we should not confuse the terms between Hispanic American and Latin American, because Hispanic is referring to all the countries of America which one of its official languages is Spanish, and Latin American refers to the colonized countries of America. Those countries were colonized by Latin nations such as Spain, Portugal, and France.
Many of you came to learn about our culture, origins in our mother tongue, and history. Now, just one more key point. Pan-American countries are all the part of America. From Canada to Argentina, that's why the famous Pan-American Games, such as the Olympics, occur between all countries.
Does anybody have any questions?
I didn't quite get the difference between Latin and Hispanic.
So, I think so. For example, if you're from Latin America, let's say for example, Peru, any country within Latin America, you are considered to be a Latina or Latino. You're descendant of that country. But if you speak Spanish and you're not from those regions, then you're considered to be Hispanic. But a lot of people don't like to be considered Latino or Hispanic. They rather go by their heritage traits.
Okay.
I would ask you what is your heritage, not what is.
I would be considered to be Hispanic because I was born here, but I speak Hispanic language. So I'll be Hispanic American.
Okay.
Okay, now we have the second topic in this lecture, and it's about Frida Kahlo. Frida was the third daughter of the German immigrant photographer Guillermo Kahlo. He married Matilde Calderon from Oaxaca, Mexico, and they had 5 girls, including Frida and 1 boy. In 1904, Frida's family moved, Frida Kahlo family moved to Coyoacán to the famous Blue House, now converted in the Frida Kahlo Museum. When she was 6 years old, she suffered from polio and her right leg was thinner than her left leg. Because of that, Frida grew up with insecurities. What made matters worse, she was bullied at school because of her was different. Despite the bullying and high insecurities, Frida managed to attend the university in which she makes friends, which they call each other Los Cachuchas, translate the hats. In September 1925, Frida was on board of the local bus and a tremendous accident happened in which it left her in Monroe for 3 months. Her shoulder was dislocated, 2 broken ribs, vertebral fractures, and pelvis fractures. In total, 11 fractures on her right and her left leg. The accident left her in a great deal of pain, and she turned her attention to painting. Most of her famous paintings reflect her suffering from disease and trials on her confronted in her personal life. An example, in her painting, Las dos Fridas and unos cuantos piquetitos, Gemma, can you explain the paintings for us?
Yes. So for this specific painting, Las dos Fridas, which translates to 2 Fridas, reflects her 2 different personalities of Frida Kahlo. On the left, you'll see the tradition of Frida, which shows a heart that is cut and torn open with surgical pincers, which was used to cut and bleed out to death. This portrait was, she painted it when she was going through her divorce with Diego Rivera. And that's what inspired the painting. And in the next portrait, Unos cuantos piquetitos, very graphic, but it translates to a few little pricks. This painting reflects Frida's pain and suffering when she experienced, when she found out that her husband, Diego Rivera, was having an affair with her youngest sister, Cristina. So, when she was reading the newspaper one morning, she read an article about a drunk man that stabbed his wife to death when he found out that his wife was being unfaithful to him. So, she was inspired by reading that story, and then the drunken man who stabbed his wife to death, he ended up saying to the judge, all I did was give her a few little pricks. So that's what inspired the whole painting. And if you notice in the portrait, the frame, the outside border, is also splattered with blood. That's because she wanted the audience to get that eyewitness look, that eyewitness vibe, see that it's real.
She continued to paint and join a political party that was communist. She dresses in red shirts and attends the meetings. In one of those meetings, she met Diego Rivera. She was 22 and Diego was 43 when they married.
In 1939, Frida became the first Mexican painter, and in honor of her success and legacy, the French governor honored her by buying her a paint named El Marco, translates to the frame, and she was known as a surrealist painter. In 1953, 2003, she had her first art exposition in Mexico, but at that time she had her left leg only and her health was not in good condition. Frida painted 55 self-portraits and she used to paint it, every portrait reflected every sad stage in most of her life. So it came to the date on July 13, 1954, she died of pulmonary embolism. And a few days before she died, she wrote in her diary, "I hope the exit is joyful and I hope never to return." The previous year, she had her right leg amputated and she was diagnosed with bronchial pneumonia, leaving her in a very fragile state. So her ashes later on were displayed in her former home, known as the Blue House, along with other relics, portraits of her personal life.
Thank you. Does anybody has any questions? Yes.
Tell me again, where is the Blue House? What city?
And the Blue House is located in Coyoacán, Mexico. Actually, I was there like five years ago. Yeah. Okay. We're going to the third topic. There is the Dia de los Muertos. This is a tradition in Mexico and is part of our culture. We celebrate el Dia de los Muertos on November 2nd. I will begin with this fascinating topic of el Dia de los Muertos, which means the Day of the Dead. I will not follow any specific order for this presentation. If you want to ask me any question, please wait to the end of this lecture, and I will try to answer your question in the most appropriate way. In Mexico, the tradition of el Dia de los Muertos is an ancestral tradition. Since before the Spanish arrived to our country, it already existed. The Mayas, Mexicas, and Totonacas already celebrated. The altar of the dead consists of different levels. In this particular altar, we have three only. Level number 1, that means heaven. The second level means the purgatory, and the third level means the underworld. I want to add the meaning of each item in this altar. Salt, that represents the soul, is not corrupted. Water represents the source of life. Candles represents hope and faith. They are placed in a cross to guide and illuminate the souls. And silence represents clean the evil spirits. Sweet skulls represents memory of death without fear. Red represents the fraternal offer. Arch with flowers represent the entrance of the dead to this world. Papel picado represents the air that they will need to fly to the earth. One of the most important things in the cempasúchil flower, that means the reflection of the sun or the Aztec god. As you see, there are many orange flowers in this altar. Now, you see that we have photographs and religion personal items. In this case, the altar is for adults. That's why I offer to my parents food, fruit, chocolate, and water, because they will be hungry when they arrive from heaven. Remember, this is the only day of the year that they will eat. My father drank a lot of Coca-Cola and also smoked. That's why here's a bottle of Coca-Cola canister, and always I remember my father reading and writing, and here is a small clipboard for him in case he wants to write. Now, important things about my mother. She loves to make tamales, everyday tortillas, and especially she sewed clothes for us. She made dresses for me and my sisters. That's why here is her sewing machine and a pair of scissors. And also she wore earrings. She never used any makeup and dressed very nice. But yes, she always wore earrings. If the altar is for children, we offer toys and sweets, but the altar is not going to have any photographs.
Is the altar you're speaking of what the name?
This is the altar. Yeah. Feel free to ask anything you want to know. And also, we have a chance if we go over the time. Emma is going to let me know. If you want to come and take a picture for that, you're welcome to do it. If not, at the end of the program, you will have a few minutes to. The people in the city, they don't have the same space in the province. In the province, you can see the altar for 7 levels, even until 18 levels. And every level has a different,
Subject.
yeah, specifically, yes.
It is a lot of hard work, but it's because it's a tradition and they are honoring their loved ones. It's part of their lives, so it's deeply respected.
It's a good thing when my father, when he died, they gave an altar.
That's nice, that's very nice. Now it's getting all over, and different countries also, not only in Mexico, but Mexico has the most traditional way to make it because it borns in Mexico. Now it's all over the world. Yeah.
Another part of Mexico definitely, and it is celebrated around, it's usually a week, October 31st to November 2nd, but here it is usually when it's in Los Angeles, it's November 2nd, 2020. But in Mexico, it's a whole week. So I'm not sure if you're familiar with East Los Angeles College. It's over in Monterey Park. They do that as a festival. So yeah, they do a festival. So it's usually around October, the last week to the first week of November, and they do a huge table set of Day of the Dead, and everybody brings a relic of their loved one, a portrait, picture, food, as you saw earlier. That's what they do for a whole week, and then they just take it down.
They also have they also have that tradition in San Pedro as for Dia de los Muertos, and you can see the altars over there. It's beautiful. People recreated, and also they have different altars in Plaza Olvera. They also have that tradition. If you have any chance, just go see what is alive. It's not the same as this one that it has small pieces. They have a real food. They really have everything that's in the altar. Does anybody has any question?
I just have a comment in addition to that. If you want to see like this, if you want to see people walking at that in the costumes, on Rhoda Street would definitely, you would get that exact picture. But I really suggest you go early because it gets like that.
Yeah, it's true.
And also the cemetery, it left me right now. But the cemetery where the stars are, yes. They also have a big, they also have a big celebration. That one is also beautiful. Because people, you can see the altars of people, the grave sites that they do. Huge, you can see them huge there too. The other thing, I didn't remember the name of the flowers that she mentioned, but they're marigolds.
Cempasúchil. That's the name of it.
Yes. I grew up seeing those little altars in my home, and I had to go and look into to understand why. What was it, what was it? But I remember it faintly, and I remember little ones because of the space. But now, with me trying to keep that tradition in my family, I'm amazed at that. My grandchildren love the color. And it does have a slight significance to All Souls Day, what is it, All Souls Day? But you don't have to be from that religion or from any religion to.
No,
all
it
is
can
a
be
celebration.
any religion.
Yeah.
Yes, you're right.
You know, I just wanted to add that because it's me, like I love color, and now I realize why. I always saw the color. I always saw Frida, and Frida, just a sidebar, because she wasn't traditional. That's the attraction. That was the attraction. You know, she was like she would wear color, and everybody didn't wear color anymore. She didn't care. She has a lot of manly traits that she didn't care. Also, she was just very artistic or whatever. That's why right now you see all the kids and all that, all with her, and it just represents like rebellion or it's me, I want to be who I am, and stuff like that. I just wanted to add that.
Yes, now that you mentioned Frida, she always dressed up as a Mexican. She loves the traditional dresses, and she also had her preferences for la tehuanas. You know, that's the dress she has with some kind of a veil or something like that. Then you can see it here. She has her dress very beautiful. She dresses like that, and she uses a lot of jewelry, and she covers herself because of her leg. She covers herself with the long skirts and stuff like that. Now, can I answer your question?
Oh, I was just gonna say, they don't wanna go too far, Cal State Dominguez actually on there has, celebrated with the.
Oh, they do? That's nice. Actually, my daughter here, Adriana, she graduated from Cal State Dominguez here, so I'm really proud of her. And thank you. Anybody else with some questions?
Well, I just wondered, I saw the film Coco, which I just love.
Oh,
Is that pretty accurate as far as the traditions of the Day of the Dead?
Well, it does, but in a way, it's a movie, you know. Movie, they need to have something attractive for everybody. And they have a tradition, but it's not the same way. We never go to Haven to play with our loved ones. They're coming here to play with us, you know, only one day on the year. So Coco is a very nice movie, but not exactly the traditional Mexican.
But it certainly does honor the dead.
Oh, yes, it does, yeah. It's
Yeah.
very pretty.
The first day that came out, I went to see it at the AMC. It was on a Sunday, and you could barely get a seat in there because there were so many families with their little children
Yes,
coming to see that.
yeah. It's very popular with kids, they love it. Yes?
In the Catholic areas in Germany, where I come from, it's very common. We celebrate the same way.
Oh, really?
And the cemeteries, the day before, everybody goes up and scrubs
You know, the customs and everything.
And then the flowers we use is white.
It's white.
White. White, and then also Souls Day is the first day, and then All Souls Day, All Saints Day is the first day. The second day is All Souls Day. But everybody goes to the cemetery, even people who have been away for a long time come back to the cemetery and celebrate each other. So it's very common.
That's nice, you know, the Katrina, like costumes, the Katrina and the Catherine. So it's very popular now. Everybody, the young kids, they like to dress up like a Katrina because they feel something is different and it's not common in Halloween. But yes, it's getting popular.
There's a lot of groups down in Mexico. I'm not sure if it's Guatemala, but there are indigenous groups that do celebrate this, but a little bit more differently. And I'm not sure the name of the group, but what they do is that they go back to the cemetery and they dig out their loved ones, and then they bring them to their homes, And it's the exact same tradition when it comes to the costumes, the food, the altar, they have them there. And then once the traditions are, once the day is over, they just put it back.
Put it back.
That's it's very similar to.
A little bit more
Yeah.
cruel.
Yeah, I'm not sure the name of the group, but this occurs still to this day. Yeah. Any more questions?
Everything's okay? All right, so Gemma,
Oh.
you are in charge of what we have to say about your plan for this celebration. Is just the beginning. There's going to be taking place here in Dominguez. And Gemma is going to explain what is that about.
Yes, so if you notice in the catalog for this semester, we included Black History Month, we included Asian Pacific Islander Month, which starts I believe in May. What we're trying to do now is put more diversity into the OLLI program. So soon in September and October, we're going to have Hispanic Heritage Month. So we're going to include events, field trips, lectures based on Hispanic origins, Aztec, Mayan, that have to do with Hispanic culture, Latino, and even Chicano. So get ready to see that in the catalog. I think it will be advertised in the summer, but it will begin in the fall. Okay, so Maria, whenever you're ready for your book.
Yes, I'm ready. I just want to talk about a little bit about my book. It's not much to say it. It's just I spent 5 years to self-publish it. I just work by myself, but I hire people who helps me to edit it and also translate it. And I'm really happy with the translation because it goes very well with my words in Spanish. So I'm really happy with the person who helps me. She lives in Maine, and we communicate with emails. Sometimes she asks me, Maria, what do you want me to say in here? Oh, okay. Susan, you have to put this one with this kind of feelings. You just pretend that you're the one who's there. Just think that, everything is going to be as your own. Don't think about my words. Just think about what you're feeling. And she helps me very, very well in that. So I'm really happy, and I hope you like it. It's my first book, and I also have another book. There is an Amazon Kindle. Both of my books are an Amazon Kindle under, this is Breaking Barriers in English, and the other one is Breaking Barriers in English. So I'm really happy with this book because it has all totally different. Now more as I supposed to do the first one, but the first one just came from my heart. It came from something that I was not prepared. I just saved my poems and tried to put it all together. In year 2000 I started, because before of that I write poems and napkins and papers that I not even know where I left them. But in 2000, yes, I was serious, and I said, I'm going to publish my book. And I did it in 2007, and I'm really happy with the response of the people for this book. So I would like to invite you guys so you can check my other book. It's an Amazon Kindle also, and the price is $9. And if you want, you can just, you know what to do, more than I do. So, yeah, because I'm not too good in the technology, but I have my books already, but my daughter helps me to get it down, load it. And so like I said, this particular book, the book cover is the picture. It's my nephew, Itzael Enriquez. He is a professional athlete, and he provided the picture for me. So I'm really happy with the book cover design, and I hope you like it. So I'm going to read one poem, and since you all passed the book, you can follow me, and please forgive me if I don't read in the right way, but I have one poem that I really like it a lot, and that's The Crazy Women, and the page 86.
86.
The Crazy Women. That woman is crazy, and her outrage make her rave. She's a moved by hungry child or an abandoned grave. She yells furious to the wind for love or when it goes wrong. She gets sad when she listens an old nostalgic song. She is that at war with life, fighting for her ideals. She busting with this fire, she already feels what she feels. That woman is crazy. She thinks no race is superior, and of the men she loves, to him she is not inferior. That woman is crazy. She loves without heresies. She gives herself completely to her love without reservation. Her voice is warm and clear, moving to those who hear it, and she must fight for what is her, like a soldier that she is not fearing. That woman is crazy. She will not go. She makes rules with options, but is disregard with no allowed. As a mother, she's a tearless. She instructs without objection and never issue ultimatums, and she can listen and give directions. She admits her mistakes and doesn't jump to a conclusion. She gives nobody the right to change her decisions. For nothing she will help you. Need she will fulfill, but do be careful. Don't abuse her goodwill. That woman is crazy. She's proud. She wears a skirt. She lives dishonestly and will not slander and call skirts. She's just like many others in the common rank and feels she has dark skin or light and an honest, open smile. I'm sorry for my baby. Now I want to ask my daughter, Adriana Norman, that she's going to help me. She said, "No, Mom, I can't do that." But now,
I'm sick, so
I promise.
I'm not feeling very well, so that's my excuse. I butcher it. It says, this is on page 32 for mother. It says, you are loveliness. You adorn the earth with the gifts of a goddess, innocence and elegance, such is your power, that wherever you go, even grass will flower. You are heaven sent, adorned little mother, hands of velvet, a face like no other. How often your tears fell on my hair, guarding in silence my nights with your prayer. Since childhood, your hand showed me the way. On my forehead, your kisses at the start of each day. Dear little mother, teacher and mentor, patient and forgiving of every little error. May God bless you, mother, your mission, procreation, your womb, the gift of life, love, faith, and devotion.
And I want to come from my schema to read one of the poems that she likes since the beginning. So here is schema with the dear.
On page 78, it's titled Dear Papa. So that one, I really liked it because I kind of dedicated to my dad when he was going through dialysis. And I remember I read this to him when he got the kidney transplant over the winter break. So he was very happy to hear. I didn't share that with Maria, but I did share that with him, and he really liked the poem. So I dedicate this to my dad. Dear Papa, page 78. Do not forget that I am here. I want to be your friend to play. Give me a kiss, Papa dear. I'll be without you all the day. I barely ever see you. You leave the house at dawn. My little arms are cold. I'm so sad when you are gone. I want to share with you to laugh and play and learn. Yesterday I cried myself to sleep, thinking you wouldn't return. You always leave in a hurry and forget to give me a kiss. If only you knew how I cried, here I am, it's you I miss. Dear Papa, I'll be your friend and try.
Thank you, Hannah. Thank you very much. I do appreciate all of you to be here. And it's a great experience for me to be in front of wonderful people. Thank you so much. And
Mrs. Rakers, do you have a favorite in here?
my favorite?
Yeah.
Well, just many favorites.
So my request is that you choose one and read it in Spanish.
Okay.
And
I
tell us
have
what
one
page
that
you're
I
on.
really love it.
Yeah, that's it.
And what is this? Let's see. Let's say Tom Bradley. Yes.
What page?
Page 106. Okay. Tom Bradley. El alcalde Tom Bradley le quise hacer un tributo. Por su trabajo y empeño, él no tendrá sustituto. Lo conocí por la prensa en las buenas y en las malas, de raíces africanas y dos enormes alas. Primero fue policía y después voló a mayor. Él durante 20 años demostró ser el mejor. Construyó el Coliseo y abrió los brazos al mundo. Siempre promovió igualdad con un éxito rotundo. Su gobierno fue largo, pero un día llegó a su fin. Él vivió con gran tristeza lo que pasó a Rodney King. Cuando se quemó su pueblo, él resistió la estocada. Fue un amanecer fatal después de nuestra Olimpiada. Honor quien honor merece, descanse en paz el mayor. Hay que continuar su sueño si quiere ser el mejor. Con respeto a la memoria del alcalde Tom Bradley.
Maria, please share why is this your favorite, Tom Bradley? ¿Por qué es su favorito? Tom Bradley.
Why is my favorite? Because I can see how many years he was in the office, and that inspired me. He was there for that long. It's something that I really feel good about his way of being with people. And that's what inspired me, and I like it, but like I tell you, I love other ones too. But if we have a chance, I can read another one in Spanish. Not many of you will understand.
But what we read, we understand.
But you can read it in English at the same time that I'm reading in Spanish. Okay. Diversidad. This is on page 15. Diversity. Diversidad. Cada quien vive a su antojo y como desea vivir. Un bisexual o lesbiana no se debe reprimir, ni vivir del que dirán y
Ma'am,
aceptar.
sorry. Could you start over? It says the phone ringing. Okay, now it stopped. It was interfering with your reading. There was
Okay, thank you.
a sound. Would you please start over? Thank you.
Okay. Diversidad. Cada quien vive a su antojo y como desea vivir. Un bisexual o lesbiana no se debe reprimir, ni vivir del que dirán y aceptarse tal cual son. La humanidad es diversa y sé que no es confusión. Si la sociedad lo acepta, poner la frente muy alto, pero si no, no se aflijan, que hasta nacer es difícil cuando se complica el parto.
You wrote this in '07, and you're probably a Catholic woman.
I am Catholic,
Yeah,
but
that's very interesting, all of that.
it's all kind of points in here, because being a Catholic, it doesn't mean that I don't share other people's feelings, other people's beliefs or anything. I respect the way everybody is, because I do like to be respected also for the way I am.
The lover, la amante.
The lover. Oh my God. There is getting crazy. La amante. ¿Y tú qué dijiste ya? Este incauto yo lo atrapo. Tú solo eres mi amante y entre tú y yo no hay contrato. Eres como la humedad que has penetrado mis venas. A mi esposa no la dejo y no me hagas tus escenas. Tú ya estás muy grandecita, sabías de mi compromiso. Confiaste en tus encantos, pero esta vez no se te hizo. Yo contigo me divierto, pero a mi esposa es primero. Tienes muchas exigencias y yo no tengo dinero. Si no te bastan mis besos y tú quieres algo más, puedes seguirte de paso, otra vendrá si te vas. Okay, so I think we're okay with the time, so if you want to share
Anybody else
something
want
else?
Anybody else want to read another poem they like? Gonna take the content was there?
Yes, maybe some point that brings your attention.
La India Chona.
Oh, okay, that's a story about La India Chona. Because La India Chona is a name for radio character. Like read this, it has different characters in his program. So I used to be on the radio station for like 10 years, playing La India Chona. La India Chona is a character that says a lot of rhymes. It goes in the radio station talking on the phone with the disc. So I spent 10 years in the radio, and I brought that name because my name is Maria Concepcion Enriquez. And also I have a different name, and my other side that is Maria Asuncion. So Maria Asuncion means Chona, and the character was like an Indian talking. So I put La India Chona. That's why. The city of Guanajuato is a very traditional city. They not even have lights. They don't even have pavement. It's all rustic. They don't have those big chains of stores. They have underground tunnels. They transport it from underground because that's the way they're built it, and it's for a long, long time. That's a very nice place to go. If you want to see Mexican history, they have a lot of history in that particular place.
Notice the candles are battery. You can't really turn, they're usually real candles so that the smell will go on. Remember the
Even the
sticky
scents too.
Yes. That's a scent. So usually you light that up with a match, right?
Yes.
With a match, and then that one specifically watermelon.
Yeah,
So
that's,
usually it will smell the whole room, but we can't because of the fire code, and then everything will just.
About this one, because the smells brings the dead from heaven to the earth. That they smells and they go flying with the papel picado. There is like that. So that's what it means. And the water here is not. It has to be a lot of water for them because they're just thirsty and many things. And this altar, it has a meaning because of my father and my mother. There is a clipboard there. My father used to be all the time reading and writing. He was a teacher, and I got this small clipboard for him just in case he came and he wants to write some poems also, and something for us. He always write letters or stuff like something for all my sisters and my brothers. He was really proud of his family.
You want her autograph? Feel free. Sign your book, and that's about it. Thank you, everyone.